Well, welcome back to the garage, and we got the parts back from Sandblast, and as you can tell, these look much better than they did before. I'm not going to paint them. I'm just going to leave them just like this. They're like a galvanized material. They should be fine. They won't rust. These are the fender mounts. They're all cleaned up. I'm going to hit these with black paint. These are the brake caliper mounts, and basically sandblasted them and then wire wheeled them, and they look good as new. And these were the engine mounts, and I sandblasted these and buff and wheeled them, and they came out kind of shiny looking. They look good. And of course the pads are all nice and dry now, and we can throw them back in. Let's see, what else we got going on? Oh, take a walk outside here. Did a little bit of painting. Painted the oil tank. If you remember, these had like red paint on them, so painted them. I used high heat paint, and looks much better. And I also painted the radiator. I also used the high heat paint on this. This is high heat black, and this is high heat silver. This paint here is actually for turbochargers, so I know it'll hold up, and it looks a lot better than the gold color. So we got all that stuff done. Let's look at other stuff. All right, I took the exhaust off camera because I just got it done and I forgot to grab the camera. Anyways, these are the exhaust studs. They were rusted pretty bad. Those bolts don't come off. Luckily, the stud came out of the head, so I'm gonna have to get new studs. Can't use those. I could use them, but I'm not gonna. I'll buy new ones. Things we still have to do. I think I'm still gonna take, I don't know if I'm gonna take the AMs off, but I'm gonna take all the hardware out and all the cups so that we don't get paint on them. And I might just stick a temporary rod through there to keep them in place while I paint them black. That's what I'm gonna do there. We're gonna unbolt and unhook all the wires that are on here. We're just gonna lay them up and over, just up and over, and I'm gonna paint this whole front. And then once it dries, put everything back where it was, and then we'll move on to the next piece. I'm gonna take this off and wire wheel it to get all the gold paint off of it. I'm gonna use a Scotch-Brite pad to get this orange paint off the side of the head. And the valve cover's gold, and that ain't gonna cut it either. I have a replacement for that. We are going to take the side cover off. This is magnesium. I'm going to put paint stripper on it, and then I'm going to clean that up and put it back on. And it looks like there's gasket maker on here instead of the gasket, so that's got to come off anyways. And it'll give me a chance to inspect the clutch too. I'm going to remove this stuff and paint it. These are going to come off. I'll either use paint stripper on them, or I'll just put a coat of black paint on them. I'm probably going to pull this, scuff it up, and paint this too. Well, the sun's really coming in right now. Sorry about that. So that's the plan here. Let me show you guys what I have for a valve cover. And this was in my spare parts. I have another one down there. This was the nicer of the two. It's not painted. That's just the factory color. So that's going to look better than that gold one. I'm going to take the gold one off and just pop this one on. So we're going to do that. All right, let's get set up and get moving. Brakes are all back on. They need to be bled, but I can't do anything until the handlebars are back up. I did put synthetic grease, caliper grease, on all the moving parts of the calipers, so they shouldn't freeze up again, and they should be good to go. And you can see nice red pads, and there is no more of the old paint on these at all. They look nice, the way they should have looked. And again, red pads. And everything's in. All right, so the brakes are all handled, they're done. All right, let's move on to pulling back some of these wires and getting ready to prep and paint at least the front half of this frame black. All right, guys, we're ready for paint. I stripped all the wires. I have them all up, either behind this piece of cardboard or up and over. Most of them behind the cardboard, just so I don't get paint all over them, as you can see. See what most of the stuff is. I disconnected the A-arms and pulled them down because I want to get inside all of this. I don't want to see any blue paint. Let's see what else. I think that's pretty much it. I'm gonna cover all this stuff up so I paint it so I don't get paint on it. I'm gonna take a piece of Scotch-Brite pad and I'm gonna scuff all this blue paint just so I get a good bite with the new paint, and plus there's some flaky stuff on here that I want to kind of knock off. And I'm not going to worry about the brake lines and stuff. There's a little bit of orange paint on there. I don't care if paint gets on. There's blue paint here. I don't care if black paint gets on there because the lines are black. No big deal. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to finish covering up what I want to cover up, scuff it all up, and then paint it. Everything's taped off, or as best that it needs to be. So let's give everything a light coat. Get it to etch itself on there. Oh, by the way, I cleaned everything up with brake clean. Got all the dust off, and I hit it with a Scotch-Brite pad. So we're just gonna put a light coat on everything here. Get a little bit of a coverage. This is going to take a lot of paint because there's a lot of little areas to get into. Alright, we'll let that sit. Get a better look. We'll let it sit. Obviously you can still see some blue coming through, but we'll let it sit. And I'm probably going to do 3-4 coats on this, and I'll come back when I'm done. We got it all painted. I had painted it originally a high gloss black, and I didn't really like the way it looked, so I went with a satin black. I changed it to a satin black, and I think I like the way the satin looks better than the high gloss. All right, I guess at this point now what we'll do is reassemble the front end, put the wheels on it, put it back on its own weight, and work our way back. I'm seriously thinking about pulling the motor to paint the rest of the frame, but we'll see. Let me get the front back together. Well guys, sorry about that, but I lost some footage. I had some footage of what I've done to this, and for some reason I lost it. My apologies. But anyways, let me recap what I did on the footage I lost. So at this point here, I just want to show you guys a few things. I did pull the motor from the frame so I could paint it. I have the front end all back together. I put the shock protectors on, or shock socks, or whatever you want to call them. They look good. The flat black came out really nice on the frame. It looks really good. Steering stem is back in. I took that out and straightened it. That's now back in. I greased up all the lower stuff. We're all set there. Put a brand new cotter pin in there. Everything looks good. I don't know if the calipers are on. Everything looks good. The front of the bike's looking really good. Now, one of the things that I did do is with the wheels. The wheels were painted, and I didn't know what color they were underneath, so I put some paint stripper on them, and check this out. Those things look amazing. Thank God whoever painted them didn't prep them properly and sand them all up and use an etching primer and all that. They just put black paint on them, and the black paint came off like butter when I put paint stripper on them. So those came out fantastic, as you can see. All right, those are done. I did all 4. The frame is all painted now. I am going to put another coat of paint on it just to make sure it's pretty thick and durable. Looks way better than the blue, way better. You can see that I have the rear swing arm off, and it kind of fell off the rack. So I kind of just left it there. And you can see here the rear wheels, same deal. They look fantastic. This bike is coming along, and this is going to be a really good looking machine when it's done. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give this another coat of paint. I just let it dry overnight, and I'm going to hit it with another coat. So I am going to do that, and I think what we're going to do next after that is we are going to clean up the swing arm, and we're going to put that back on the machine and get everything all buttoned up there. And I have another valve cover. I'm gonna take that ugly gold one off and put the factory magnesium one back on, and that'll dress the motor up and make the motor look good again. We're gonna do that also. So let me get it to painting, and I'll come back when I'm done. All right, while the frame is drying, let's look at this stuff here. So I picked up a nice Alba Racing crash bar. This is the same style, same exact style that I put on my Kawasaki. You can see over there. The same exact one, same style. I like the style, I like the way it looks. The problem is, as you can see here, does it fit? And it doesn't fit. Now, at the same person that I bought that from, I bought A-arm protectors and a full skid plate. And I also bought a grab bar with the fender mounts on it. It's a factory grab bar. All right, so the grab bar fits perfectly. This stuff here, this bar and the A-frame, the A-arm protectors and the skid plate came off of a 2012. And I asked the owner, the guy I bought the stuff off, would they fit in 07? And he said yes, and they don't. So basically bought a bunch of stuff that doesn't fit. So what do? Do I repost them for sale, buy new, or do I fix them? And you guys know me, I like to fabricate, so I'm gonna make this stuff fit. Shouldn't be that difficult. Basically what I'm gonna do on this is I'm gonna cut these 4 legs off, and then I'm going to figure out where they gotta be on here and then weld them back on. I can't weld aluminum, so I'm gonna have to have a buddy of mine do it, but I'm gonna use this and I'm just gonna do a little bit of modification to it. Piece of cake. Now the A-arm protectors, as you can see on here, I guess the A-arms on the 12 are a lot longer because they go way past the pivot point here, so they'll have to be cut down. Now I don't necessarily know that I need to cut them clear straight back from here, or just cut this at an angle so it clears this, you know, down to the flat part here. I also noticed that this little tang going up is going to interfere with the webbing in the frame. Not a big deal. I can always, you know, trim the overall length of that. Now, as far as this go, these A-arms bend up, and it looked like the A-arms on a 12 bend down. So how do we fix that? I think I'm just going to cut a V in this on both sides. Symmetrical, I'll make it look nice. I'm just going to cut a V with a Sawzall, and then I'm going to bend it up, and I'm going to round the edges, and it'll look, I think it's going to look just fine. I'm not going to worry about welding these because basically they're made to get destroyed anyway, so I'm not really worried about it. So that's what I'm going to do. Let's get to it. All right, so what I come up with was 2 inches, an inch on either side of that. And I'm just going to bring it back to there. I think that will clear what I need to on that side. And then on this side here, I'm going to go 1 inch wide, 1/2 inch on either side of the weld. That should give me enough to bend it up to where it needs to be. And I need to clear the back the same. I need to scribe a line on that too. So I'm going to go and do that off camera, and I'll come back when I'm done. All right, guys, this is what I got. So this is the one I modified, and this is the one. This is what it looked like when I got it. And you can see it's quite a bit different now. I shortened it up by quite a bit. The A-arms on a 12 must be longer than the A-arms on a 07 I should say, and the 12. Then you can see that I'm just stand up. You can see that. Maybe you can't see. Anyway, this is what it used to look like. And this is a side view of what it looks like now. Now it'll fit. And I think that those V's in it will look just fine. You'll never even be able to tell. So I'm going to mount it up now, and then we'll take a look at it. All right, guys, here it is. It's on. It's bolted in. It ain't going anywhere. It ain't going to rattle. All the clamps are on. And I think it looks pretty good. I like it. So now all I got to do is the same thing to that, for that side. But I'm going to do it off camera, and I think I've had enough for today. we'll pick this back up when it cools off a little bit. It is literally 95 and humid here. It feels like it's 110. I got sweat coming out of spots on my body that I never thought would sweat. So I have had enough for today. But that looks good. Let me get to the other one, and I'll come back when I get it there. All right, guys. AI protectors are on. They look good. They're gonna work just right. All right, that's all set. Now, as you can see here, I made quite a mess. That's how much I cut off the back end of it. And I got some cleaning up to do, obviously. And the tools I used was basically I used a Sawzall and some files. You know, tools that any of you guys could use. I didn't use anything special, and they came out really nice. See, there's that back V there. They don't fit perfect, but they're gonna do the job. And they actually look like they were bought for this. They do not look like I modified a set from something else. So they look good. All right, I think what I'm gonna do now is I am going to put the swing arm back on and hook all that up, because what I wanna do now that the motor's out, I wanna take that skid plate and I wanna mount that on here. Again, that was, the skid plate came off of 12, so I know I'm gonna have to do some modification to get it to fit this frame. So now's the best time to do it, because there's nothing in the frame. I don't have to worry about drilling into anything or anything like that. And I could actually come down from the top if I had to drill a hole rather than coming up from the bottom. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna put all this back on. I'm not gonna record any of it. I'll come back when I'm done. All right, guys, I got a lot more done on this. Frame's all painted. It's all on. I got the back half of the frame on, and we're missing the nuts that go inside of here, and they're pressed in, and they're missing on all four sides here, and it's just going to be really difficult. The bow will be loose, moving up and down. If you pull on it, it'll go up and down. So I got a nut driver set, or a nut setter set, and I want to show you guys what that is. And that is this guy right here. And these are the nuts. And these got an 8mm thread in them. And basically what you do is it's sort of like a pop rivet, where you can press this in there, and it bites in and locks it in place so that it doesn't come back out. So I am going to put those in. And I noticed that the hole, let's go over there and I'll show you real quick. The hole is just a little bit too small for these to fit in there. So I'm going to drill them out so this fits in there. And I'm going to do that now off camera, and I'll come back when I'm done. All right, so here's the tool. Here's the insert. And we screw this on till the bottom's out. And then we push it into what we want. And I already drilled this out to fit this. So we push it in, and then we just squeeze this like you do a regular pop rivet. That's it. And you release it, and you just unscrew it. That's it. Now you have a very nice insert in there with an 8mm thread, and you can see that how it squishes up against the frame there. These are non-rotating because those splines bite into the aluminum. They're pretty much the same insert that Yamaha used from the factory. So I'm going to drill the rest of these out. I'm going to drill the rest of these out, the other three, and come back when I'm done. Well, I think I'm going to call it a wrap on this video. There's way more to come on this. So if you want to see more, hit the subscribe button and you'll be notified when I post the next video. And like I said, I was going to show you guys the end result, and those inserts are in there on that side, and we'll walk over here and show you that they are also on this side, and they came out really nice. This is all painted now. I did pick up a grab bar for the back, which we'll install now that I have the fittings in. And I think I went over the wheels, but I'm not sure if I did or not. But again, the wheels are all cleaned up. They look fantastic. I picked up much more parts for this. I won't spoil the surprise. We'll go over it more in future video. And the motor's down there on the floor. And we don't really need to do any motor work to it, but I do need to do electrical work, which we will do in the next video, I think. I still have the skid plate that I got to modify to fit because it went for a newer YFZ, an aluminum frame one. We did get the AM protectors to fit after we modified them, and they look pretty nice, I think. So the bike's coming along. Like I said, hit the subscribe button, share, like, tell your friends, all that kind of stuff. I want to continue to grow the channel, so I will continue to make quality videos for you guys. Thanks for watching, and I will definitely see you guys in the next video.